Blessings, everyone. Today, Spirit has encouraged to do an oracle reading for the divine counterparts, and it's been a while since I've done this. And so I will be using the romance oracle, the past life oracle, and the ascended masters. And the reason why Spirit has me do it this way is because the first oracle that I will pull has to do with the energy, the romance, the connection in the moment. Then the past life oracle brings about, there are certain challenges or sometimes certain shared experiences that the divine counterparts embody. And it's not always something that they recognize from this lifetime, but from one of the many lifetimes that they've shared together. So the past life oracle brings through something that they may be experiencing that's coming up during this time that has to do with a past life. And the last oracle that I'll be reading from is the Ascended Masters. And this is, of course, the Ascended Master that is working with them, or that they may call upon at this time to help them to heal and expand in the space of whatever lessons they are going through in this time. And so first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be this medium of light. And I ask the energy of all of the Ascended Masters and higher selves of the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine that are coming together as a divine counterpart to please step forward and guide for a message for them for the highest good. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm just going to shuffle the cards. I usually do 3 times, as always. The first shuffle embodies the energy of Source. The second shuffle embodies the energy of Spirit. And the third embodies the energy of the soul, which is the beautiful story we tell here. And then what I do is I just move the cards around, and Spirit will always nudge which one was to be chosen. Sometimes it flies out of the deck. Sometimes it just kind of moves, and Spirit will say, take this one. And so sometimes it takes a minute because the energy it's very intense today. A lot of lessons are happening. So they're saying to take this one. It's safe for you to love. Open your heart and give and receive the highest energy of all. And as I connect, there's a feeling that Spirit is bringing through, that a lot of the divine counterparts are needing this validation right now. There's a lot of healing going on from the past and certain concepts when the divine counterparts are interacting. If something is a little off kilter, or maybe they're not vibing, the energy isn't flowing, that right away they pull back, they put up the wall, they go into this negative space. Maybe there's drinking or drugs being taken. Maybe there's depression. Maybe it's a form of escapism. Spirit is speaking that the intensity of the love and the connection, because it's been so many lifetimes, sometimes doesn't reveal itself right away. It takes a little bit of an unfolding, and all of these things come into play right now, where the divine counterpart's trying to protect their heart, trying to protect that space. They withdraw into this safe space. And Spirit is encouraging that it's safe to love, it's safe to be raw, it's safe to be vulnerable, it's safe to be open. Don't turn to that disconnect. Don't go off and self-soothe in a negative space. We don't need to take drugs. We don't need to drink. We don't need to comfort ourselves with gorging with food. We don't need to disappear for hours on end and stay away from each other when we're having one of these challenges come up. We have to give each other healthy space, but also remember that through this, we're safe to love each other. When there's a misunderstanding between divine counterparts, they have to remember that space of love. They have to trust it enough. They have to know that whatever's coming to the surface is the opportunity to heal something. It's the gift and the promise they give each other, always. And sometimes we do have to step back a little bit and have a look within. But do this with sacred honoring space, not in a space of escaping, not in a space of this ideology we have of there's this runner and chaser thing. Those things are no longer embodied and they're not needed. And so we need to create that space, first within, and then sharing it, that it's safe to love. And the next card that I'm going to pull has to do with past life. And whatever is coming up from these lifetimes is what may be triggering this feeling that the divine counterparts need to feel safe, to feel vulnerable, to feel open and honest, knowing that it's safe to love each other, even through the most challenging moments and lessons. And so this oracle is saying, take this one, Asia. And what I'm getting right away isn't so much that there may have been a lifetime, perhaps there was for both of them in a place in Asia. But what Spirit is bringing through is that both of them were on a spiritual journey at some point. They were looking for this inner peace. They wanted the nirvana. They wanted the Buddha. They wanted that connection. They were searching within for this. And there was a time when they both reached this space together. And so what Spirit is saying is something may be triggering this moment that it's safe to love is knowing that they've always been on this journey. They've always sat and centered. They've always found the inner light. They've always found the Buddha within. And so to feel safe to love, all they have to do is quiet the monkey mind and go within, and they'll remember this space. They'll remember these lifetimes. They'll remember the journey. Because when we get in our heads and we're thinking and we're trying to find reasons and meanings in everything, sometimes we miss what is. Sometimes there isn't anything outside of that. Sometimes it's exactly what's occurring in that moment. And when we get in the head and we're not letting ourselves be still like this, like we've known for many lifetimes, we're disrupting the flow of that. Because the most important thing is staying present. We're aware we've had many lifetimes. We're aware we've shared many lifetimes. But what we do with that is the wisdom. It's the insight, it's the understanding. And that becomes part of the intuition. And that can come forward. We don't have to go back. We don't have to have a past life regression. We have to sit in that space, always trying to figure it out from then. Just embody what is now. And trust. Trust that what's coming up may be from past lifetimes, may be this intuition trying to show the divine counterparts that they are connected and they are whole and they are in this space of grace and they've reached this space of perfection before, so they can do it again. And whatever's triggering them and whatever's bringing these things to the surface is gently nudging and reminding them, stay present, stay in the moment, go within, and you will go back to this space. We have to trust. And so the third card is going to be the Ascended Master that they can call on, or that may be working with them through these things. And that's part of the trust. That's part of the understanding of what the purpose is for a divine counterpart union, is that it's a journey that in their perfection, in their Christ-like, in their wholeness, they made a promise to encourage each other through these moments. And let's face it, when do we learn our most beautiful lessons? It's not always sitting in a rose garden. It's not always in the joy. Sometimes it's in the cracking and the expanding and the questioning and the misunderstandings, or feeling like two ships in the night sometimes. That's the moment that makes us turn our light up. That's the moments that make us go within. But if you have that love and that connection and you trust that, that's going to be the beacon of light that guides you through it. That's going to be the motivation. And so this Ascended Master that's going to step forward is the one that's going to remind them of this. That even in the flaws, there's the perfection. We don't have to think about it so much. We don't have to analyze it. Magia, the power of joy. And as this beautiful Ascended Master stepping forward, they are reminding me, when we see these beautiful rainbows and the light codes and all the colors, we look in the gardens right now and we see the vivid colors. They're shimmering everywhere. It's like on the other side, when we're in our fullness of spirit, the colors are so vivid. Yesterday, I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Eben Alexander, and they're reminding me of this. It feels more real than real. And we are reminded of these beautiful little tidbits when we experience this. Recently, there's been some beautiful sundogs and rainbows in the clouds. And every time, personally, I see these things, I remember the angels singing. It's like a validation, a reassurance that all is as it should be. And so this beautiful Ascended Master is just stepping forward to remind the divine counterparts that there is always an inherent joy. It's innate in us. It's the eternal promise. And these moments will always come through as we're working through whatever challenges. They say that it's safe to love. And as we allow this to happen, as we don't try to figure it all out, or we don't try to break it apart, we just try to be present in that moment, we'll recognize this even more in everything. It's not even going to be something that surprises us. It's going to be something that reconnects us. It's going to bring that joy. When we work through these spaces, when we're remembering the safety in our hearts, when we're in expanded heart space, because we've let down all the walls and put down all the weapons that we use and the little tit-for-tat things that everyone does. The joy that comes in is in the simplicity. It's in the knowing that we are here for a purpose. We're here for a reason. And if we look around us, all those that are in our lives right now, not just divine counterparts, but everyone, from the person that we smile at the grocery store to the children that we give life to our parents, our best friends, our animals, even the little birds that land at the feet are all meant to be there with us. We made a promise before we came here that everything was part of this joy. It's part of the experience. It's part of the trust. Just knowing and believing in ourselves that we could do this. We could exist in this space. We could come to Earth School as a big community together and remind each other in these moments when there's these difficulties. These difficulties are secret encouragements to expand. These difficulties and these challenges and these misunderstandings and these moments, it's kind of like the edge of the cliff. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to withdraw and move away from the cliff? Are we going to jump? We're going to jump because we remember that the joy is there, the trust, the truth. It's part of the journey. It's part of the story. And it's the biggest promise that we've got to keep. Not to just each other, Spirit is saying, but to ourselves. Because sometimes it's very difficult to remember and believe in these moments when there's a little disarray or we're curled up in a ball crying, that we chose this path. And through our free will, we've decided which possibility we're going to take and explore. And so they're pulling their energy back. And the biggest reminder for the divine counterparts through this reading today is don't step into that safe space that we think we're creating and withdrawing or pulling away. Allow the expansion. Allow those things that sometimes feel a little uncomfortable to come through. And speak from the heart space. Speak authentically. Because what we are bringing through each other is an expanded space. It's the opportunity to come and do what we said we were going to do. It's that little nudge that we gave each other. Because it's always coming from a place of love. I had a very, very intense experience today, a reminder, a heart shattered a few days ago, and I actually found the last piece of the heart today, and I was asking Spirit to remind me, why do we break our hearts? Why are our hearts broken sometimes? Why does it need to hurt for the light to get in? And Spirit reminded me, because it's the trust and the joy that we don't need to know everything. We don't need to know every reason that we picked a certain progression. We don't need to know every single reason of why one of these many possibilities are playing out. What we need to do is trust it. That's the greatest blessing we can give ourselves, besides spending that journey with a divine counterpart, is that trust that we have within ourselves. Why would we choose to break like that? Why would we break our heart? Because we knew that when we got here, whatever we went through would recreate that loving heart space, even more expanded than before we came here. And this is our opportunity to do that. So just know, whatever the divine counterparts are going through, if this reading, you happen to come across this and you're listening, don't focus on the disarray. Don't focus on the challenges. You are going to experience these things with each other because you're upholding the promise. Those broken hearts are expanded heart space. And the gift is the divine counterparts promised they wouldn't do this alone. that they would carry the pieces for each other. And as they start healing within, they're creating the third heart, the breath of source. They're bringing through the light together. They're healing it together. So trust. Thank you for allowing me to be a messenger today. I hope this finds you well. Many beautiful blessings and all my love.